Loki's season finale opened the door wide for a ton of Marvel Comics villains to appear in the MCU's future. Hello and welcome to Screen Rant. Before Loki even premiered, people thought it might pave the way for the MCU to introduce Kang the Conqueror, who we knew would appear at the latest in Ant-Man 3. But as things tend to be in the MCU, that wasn't exactly the case, and Jonathan Majors instead debuted as He Who Remains, Marvel Comics' true creator of the TVA. And with endless variants of him about to be unleashed on the multiverse, the comics can provide plenty of clues as to who those might be. I'm Greg Elliott, and here is every Marvel Comics villain in He Who Remains variant that was just set up by Loki.
If you think I'm evil, just wait till you meet my variants.
With his Conqueror line, He Who Remains teased the variant that might win the new multiversal war, Ant-Man 3's villain, Kang the Conqueror, one of many incarnations of Nathaniel Richards, a future descendant of the Fantastic Four's Reed Richards. The big difference between He Who Remains and Kang is that Kang's primary goal is, well, as his name implies, to conquer other civilizations, and in the comics at least, the Avengers are thankfully usually there to thwart his plans. But in Loki, it looks like he's already taken advantage of Sylvie getting all stabby, and he now appears to be fully in control of the TVA.
I'm older than I look. This game is for the young, the hungry.
The second most important version of Nathaniel Richards is Immortus, a much older future Kang who's moved on from his conquering days and in the comics rules a pocket dimension called Limbo and calls himself the Master of Time. Now, that all being said, although Immortus could still show up, it is conceivable that He Who Remains may actually already be the MCU's take on the character, but since they didn't say so explicitly, anything is possible.
I now possess the power to end hunger, to abolish disease, to establish a perfectly ordered world, all under the benevolence of my iron will.
Kang could also be connected to the Fantastic Four villain Dr. Doom. Early Kang stories in the comics strongly implied that Dr. Doom is Kang, or that Kang may be a descendant of Doom. One of Kang's many iterations in the comics did pose as Doom, so it's definitely possible that Marvel could build off of this in Doctor Strange 2 or Ant-Man 3 ahead of the new Fantastic Four movie. In 1968's Avengers Annual No. 2, a character named Scarlet Centurion manipulated the Avengers into wiping out all other superheroes, including the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and the X-Men. The Avengers, of course, eventually figured out his plan and discovered that Scarlet Centurion was actually yet another, but younger version of Kang the Conqueror. But canonically, the first Nathaniel Richards to threaten the Marvel Universe wasn't Kang the Conqueror, it was actually Rama-Tut, a version who time-traveled to ancient Egypt and became Pharaoh. He first debuted in Fantastic Four No. 19 in 1963, and in most of Kang's timelines, Rama-Tut is Nathaniel Richards' first go as a bad guy. It gets a little complicated, but Rama-Tut actually becomes Scarlet Centurion, who becomes Kang the Conqueror, who then finally becomes Immortus, so any of these versions are now game for the MCU.
I've lived a million lifetimes. I've gone through every scenario. This is the only way.
Or you're a liar.
And if there can be a female variant of Loki, there's no reason that there can't be a Lady Kang. Fantastic Four No. 272 and 3 in 1984 saw Marvel's first family take on Cassandra Richards, aka Warlord, the wife of Mr. Fantastic's dad, also named Nathaniel and also a time traveler as well. So yes, Kang, aka future Nathaniel Richards, is named after Reed Richards' dad Nathaniel, so there are two Nathaniel Richardses depending on what time frame you're looking at.
Don't know, I've gone cross-eyed.
Anywho, after being handed the reins to a planet Nathaniel ruled, Cassandra posed as him for a while until she was eventually defeated by the Fantastic Four. So in addition to the many male versions of Kang, Marvel could use Warlord as a female Kang variant in Loki Season 2 or Ant-Man 3. With the multiverse now busted wide open, really anything is possible, and we're here for it 100%. So stay tuned to Screen Rant for more videos and write-ups on all things MCU. I'm Greg Elliott, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.